Tracking human trafficking, how Saskatchewan is turning the spotlight on the criminal activity. Support for Saskatoon youth, what's available to help those struggling with mental health and addictions. And attempts to reduce the spread of an illness that puts babies and pregnant women at risk.
This is CTV News with Chantel Saunders.
Good evening. We are learning new details tonight about the signs of human trafficking inside hotels, a growing issue in smaller Canadian communities, including here in Saskatchewan. And as CTV's Laura Woodward reports, more hospitality workers are being trained to spot the warning signs of this often hidden crime.
We have seen a noticeable uptick in trend into smaller cities and rural communities.
The Canadian Centre to End Human Trafficking is seeing more cases in smaller centres. Ashley Franson Tingley says constant movement between cities and towns helps traffickers avoid law enforcement and further isolate their victims.
We need to put ring boards up around Saskatchewan because as these traffickers move in small groups from, let's say, Toronto through Saskatoon to Regina up to Edmonton and back down, that lane, we need to disrupt that traffic.
It's why hospitality workers across Saskatchewan are being trained to spot the red flags. The government is spending $115,000 to train hospitality and tourism workers to identify signs of human trafficking. It follows a push by the Hotel Association of Canada earlier this year to train the entire sector nationwide.
Very often, it's hotel employees who are best positioned to notice when something is not right.
Possible warning signs in hotels can include requests for rooms near exits, refusing housekeeping, and guests who don't have control over their own ID or money.
There's always a do not disturb sign on the door, loud music, only requests for clean towels and sheets.
While much of the training focus is on people staying at hotels, some cases can involve hotel staff themselves being exploited.
Particularly within hospitality, within housekeeping.
Anyone who sees signs of possible human trafficking is encouraged to call the Canadian Human Trafficking Hotline. It's confidential, multilingual, and connects victims with the services they need. Laura Woodward, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatoon police are working to identify a body found in the river. A heavy police presence along the river this morning. Officers were called at about 9 o'clock to Sturgeon Drive and Spadina Crescent East. Firefighters and the coroner also called to the scene. The major crime and missing persons units are working to determine the person's identity. They will also investigate his cause of death. A 31-year-old woman from La Ronge has died following a crash this morning. RCMP say she was a passenger in a vehicle that rolled at about 5:30 on Highway 102 north of La Ronge. The driver and 2 other passengers were taken to hospital with serious injuries. The highway was closed for most of the day to allow investigators to work. There is no word on what contributed to the crash. RCMP are looking for a man charged in the death of another man from North Battleford earlier this week. 21-year-old Tyson Cummer is charged with 1 count of second-degree murder in the death of 36-year-old Tyson Mosquito. Mosquito was found injured in an alley behind a home in North Battleford on Tuesday. A warrant has been issued for Tyson Cummer. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact police. A $1.5 million project has now come to life as 2 new youth group homes open in Saskatoon. As Stacey Hine tells us, the goal is to support vulnerable youth and provide opportunities.
Less than a year after shovels broke ground, the vision is now a reality. EGAD's 2 new youth group homes officially open. 16-year-old Izzy says it almost brought her to tears.
It means so much to me how much a bunch of these adults are putting into all of our time that we need for helping us get these homes for the youth.
Each home offers 5 spaces for youth ages 12 to 16, struggling with mental health and addictions. Youth also help shape both the design and day-to-day operations of the homes.
And we talk and we figure out things what youth need and what we think would help all of us.
EGAD's executive director says youth input is key and that homes provide wraparound supports to help youth move forward.
Help get them to a place where they can either move on in our our other programs or into the community.
Saskatoon Mayor Cynthia Block says youth group homes are critical.
Anything that we can do to prevent youth homelessness or to otherwise make sure that they get housed as quickly as possible improves not only their long-term outcome, which is the primary purpose, but also improves it for everyone else.
Social Services Minister Terry Jensen says the goal is to intervene early before vulnerable youth fall into homelessness.
We're going to be able to protect and support youth that are vulnerable and could, potentially, if there is nothing out there for them, they're going to fall over the edge, and they're going to be the next generation of people that are unhoused.
Jensen adds these homes also create opportunities. And for Izzy, that idea hits close to home.
My grandma used to say that if you're in a group home, that you can get a good job too. You don't have to be excluded out because of where you are.
EGADS is also launching a housing initiative for those ages 16 to 21, expected to open this fall. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The SHA is sharing more details on whooping cough in the province following an exposure risk at the Victoria Hospital in Prince Albert. Jasmine Pelche reports on this year's cases and what people in Saskatchewan can do to avoid the infection.
On April 19th, there was a whooping cough exposure risk at the Victoria Hospital ER in Prince Albert.
So there was a PSA put out by the Saskatchewan Health Authority, obviously, whenever there is, a situation where there may be, an elevated risk to the public, in a healthcare facility, certainly a public service announcement's put out, just to make sure that people know that there might be elevated risk.
The infection, also called pertussis, is spread through droplets in the air in the same way as a common cold, although the SHA says whooping cough is more infectious. Small children and babies under 1 year old are most at risk, along with pregnant women in the third trimester, as the infection can be passed to newborns. Early symptoms are sneezing, runny nose, fever, and a cough which gets worse over time and can lead to vomiting. Severe cases can lead to complications like seizures, impacts to brain function, and rib fractures from intense coughing. Whooping cough can sometimes be fatal in babies. Adults may see more mild symptoms.
Adults and adolescents may not necessarily have those classic symptoms. They may have just something like a protracted cough that goes on for a long time.
In 2025, Saskatchewan saw 218 reported cases of whooping cough. The numbers for 2026 may end up being slightly higher based on trends from the first quarter.
This is a preventable disease, a vaccine-preventable disease. This is an opportunity for people to check their immunization status. And if they are not immunized, or if they are not fully immunized, of course, this is an opportunity for them to update their immunization status.
During the COVID pandemic, the number of reported cases in the province decreased, but it has risen again in the last several years. Jasmine Pelche, CTV News, Prince Albert.
Jeff, I know a lot of people spent the afternoon on their patios when they could.
I bet. It's a no-tie Friday, why wouldn't you? Yeah, I know we've got ourselves pretty warm conditions, Chantel. And tomorrow's going to be warm. Not as warm as today, but still warm. And so will Sunday. Things take a change. There's a big change coming on Monday, so enjoy the weekend. So right now, a little bit of active weather sliding in from Alberta into parts of Saskatchewan. These aren't big-time storms, but the risk of a thunderstorm is there. But right now, it's pretty low risk. But we're going to keep our eye on this situation. But generally, we're looking at quiet conditions and staying on the warm side of seasonal. More details coming your way in just a bit.
An executive order authorizing a new pipeline to transport Canadian oil to the U.S. has been signed by U.S. President Donald Trump. It's a joint proposal from Canadian pipeline company South Bow and U.S.-based Bridger Pipeline with a section in southwestern Saskatchewan. Jacob Carr on what it could mean for our province.
Premier Scott Moe says the potential revival of parts of the cancelled Keystone XL pipeline project is good news for the province and the country. Moe taking to social media saying expanded pipeline capacity helps strengthen energy security, supports jobs, and improves market access for Canadian producers, adding we will continue to support infrastructure that connects our resources to reliable markets and drives economic growth for Saskatchewan people. This after President Donald Trump signed an order authorizing the proposed project. project, which would cut through the southwest corner of the province and along the border between Saskatchewan and Montana. Former pipeline builder and current editor and owner of Pipeline Online, Brian Zinchuk, agrees that it is high time that this project come to its full fruition.
I first started writing about Keystone XL around 2008. So here we are 18 years later, and it's finally might see some progress to see this actually happen in a different form than the original, but still it is a new export pipeline to the U.S. So there's great benefits of that.
Benefits that, according to Zinchuk, would include job creation during the construction of the pipeline and a growing economy due to more oil wells and oil sands. The Canadian company behind the cancelled Keystone XL pipeline, Southbow, is partnering with U.S. company Bridger Pipeline on the proposed project. Southbow offered CTV a statement saying, "We continue to evaluate the Prairie Connector project. It remains in its early stages and is subject to ongoing commercial, stakeholder, and rights holder discussions, regulatory processes, and evaluation." The project still has multiple hurdles to clear after the executive order by Trump, including state regulatory permits. Jacob Carr, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatchewan's Conflict of Interest Commissioner has dismissed a request for an investigation into MLA Ken Cheveldayoff over a lease arrangement for his constituency office. NDP MLA Jordan McPhail asked the commissioner for an opinion on whether Cheveldayoff benefited from the arrangement or had a conflict of interest. But the commissioner dismissed the request and in his decision said McPhail did not provide reasonable and probable grounds that Cheveldayoff violated rules around expense claims or that he derived a financial benefit from the leasing arrangement. On Wednesday, a motion was passed at the legislature that found that on April 22nd, McPhail breached the privilege of the speaker by attempting to influence a decision by the speaker. McPhail apologized in the legislature that same day. The city is looking at whether people will pay for parking using only an app instead of using pay stations as well. A report to be tabled at City Hall next week says the city will be undertaking a pilot project in Sutherland along Central Avenue where 13 of the 14 pay stations would be removed. The goal would be to evaluate whether parking can be regulated through digital methods like an app. It would also assess the impact on operations, compliance, and overall user experience. The project is expected to start in the third quarter of this year and last about 1 year. Data would be gathered on demand, operating costs, and parking infractions. Input for nearby businesses and customers would also be gathered. The report is on the agenda for the next Transportation Committee meeting on Tuesday. The University of Saskatchewan Dental Clinic is now home to some of the most advanced technology and training infrastructure in North America. As Keenan Sorokon reports, it's all thanks to some recently completed renovations.
The University of Saskatchewan's College of Dentistry is ready to show off its pearly whites. Last upgraded in the 90s, the dental clinic, originally built in the 70s, received $24 million of renovations, bringing in a new generation of equipment and learning opportunities for students.
It's not simply an upgrade. It changes how students learn, how faculty teach, and how patients experience care.
This center needed more than just a filling. It needed major restorative work. Advocating and then seeing through the extensive changes to the building is something Dean Walter Cicada has fought tooth and nail for.
When I graduated in 1999, usually a time to make a crown or a bridge was around 2 weeks. Now with the technology that we have in-house here, we can make in 1 hour. So this is the difference. So our students and our patients go to have access to this technology.
Patients at the clinic will benefit from the new imaging and treatment tools that will allow the clinic to see 20% more patients every year, pushing the clinic close to 23,000 patient visits. It also opens up opportunities to have dentists trained to become specialists here instead of on campuses across the country.
This experience will be invaluable to students, directly introducing them to patient care and setting them up for success in their professional practice.
With tools and expertise only available on campus, the students are happy to be part of this crowning achievement for the program.
Today is more than just an opening, it is a milestone, and for those of us who are currently in clinic, it's a defining part of our education.
And that education can continue for decades. By getting the clinic up to speed on the latest and emerging technologies, the plan is to offer lifelong learning for the industry. Keenan Sorokon, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Saskatchewan's air ambulance service is marking a milestone this year. In February, the emergency service marked 80 years of delivering emergency medical air care across the province. It was founded in 1946 and is considered the oldest non-military air medical transport program in North America. Its first flight was from Regina to Liberty.
Since that inaugural mission, it's transported nearly 78,500 patients, completing roughly 1,500 critical care patient transfers each year. 78,500 is a significant number, and 80 years is a long time.
The Saskatchewan Air Ambulance Program has 4 planes equipped with medical equipment that are staffed by nurses and paramedics who provide service 24/7 all year long. Saskatoon's Besborough Hotel is now closed for the next few months. The historic Castle Hotel along the river is undergoing a comprehensive renovation and rebranding as it joins Marriott Bonvoy's Autograph Collection. Renovation work began in January with the hotel remaining open until now. It is now completely closed until September. The Delta Besborough Hotel is also celebrating its 90th anniversary this year. A team of pro cornhole players are in Regina this weekend, hoping to toss aside the competition. As Damien Smith shows us, an all-female team is also hoping to mentor up-and-coming players in a game that is gaining popularity in the province.
It's the 3rd edition of the Lady Boss of the Toss in Regina.
Celebrating women in cornhole. So when we travel across the country and play in tournaments, typically the money goes home in men's pockets. So we created a tournament that all the money goes home in ladies' pockets.
And this time around, the Saskatchewan Cornhole Association partnered with the Arizona Burn, an all-woman team of professional players.
Once you get the mechanics down, it's all about being able to stay focused in the game and kind of not take yourself out of the game too much or worry about what other people are doing.
It's an opportunity for Saskatchewan talent like 16-year-old Taya Bexon to learn, traveling from Prince Albert to compete.
I always get in my head, and then how to learn some new shots like a roll bag. I'm struggling with my new bags, how to do a roll bag.
I honestly just want the girls to learn the mental side from us a little bit. I mean, everyone can throw a 4-bagger. So the questions they had today, great questions. I wasn't expecting that.
If I have a game break, I go in a room by myself, play some music, like just breathe and like reset. But if it's mid-game, I take a step away from the board, redo my steps.
While Bexon is one of the younger competitors here, Ramirez says there's a push to bring in younger players across North America.
You see the kids right now kind of taking over. Cornhole's getting pretty big out there. Now you could go get a scholarship to play cornhole.
I still be competitive, though. I'm a very competitive person. But I always go in a tournament with a positive attitude.
The tournament runs through Sunday. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Saskatchewan's beloved Mega Munch dinosaur is on the move again. He, along with other dinosaur bones and fossils being stored at the Royal Saskatchewan Museum in Regina, are getting a new home. Wayne Mantiga explains.
A new warehouse is something for Mega Munch to roar about. He had been housed in an old warehouse since retiring after 65 million and 37 years.
Yes, he'll be at the new facility and being retired over there, living his best life.
Museum storage and workshop operations are being relocated to an empty government warehouse on Park Street. It's a $22 million project crucial to specimen preservation.
You know, this building is no longer conducive for what we need. We need more space for our collections, and we need to be able to protect our collections a bit better and have a better space for our research and exhibit development.
Museum technical and research operations had been housed in a government building on Albert Street, less than a block north of the museum. The building had not undergone significant renovation since built 102 years ago as the head office for Saskatchewan government telephones.
When a building hits 100 years old, it's got some age on it, so we'll have to see where that ends up taking us.
The government has not made a decision on the future of this historic building. However, given the many original architectural features from a century ago, it could be a prime candidate for restoration by the public or private sector. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
Still to come, a look at what a new North American pipeline would mean for the bottom line. Also, a Calgary father is charged with the murder of 2 children found dead in an SUV. You're watching CTV News Live from downtown Saskatoon. Thanks for staying with us. To Calgary now, where the father of 2 children found dead in an SUV yesterday has now been charged with first-degree murder. Kevin Green on the victims and the investigation.
Barely able to stand, the children's mother was helped into St. Michael Eritrean Orthodox Church. Her 2 children were found dead Thursday morning inside an SUV on 14th Street Northwest. Police say they were killed around midnight Wednesday. A 37-year-old man has now been charged.
The victims have been identified as a 5-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. We have charged the children's father with the 2 counts of first-degree murder.
Inside the church, members of the Eritrean community wept openly, mourning the loss of the 2 children. Police have been called to the family home 4 times, but no charges were ever laid. Wednesday, the father picked up his kids between 5 and 6 p.m. for a planned trip to the playground. When he failed to return, Mom called the police, who told her her best recourse was through the courts, which is where they found her on Thursday and gave her the news.
I think it highlights for me that the conversation really does need to shift and change so that we are more inclusive in our understanding of what is domestic violence and abuse, and be a little more concerned maybe about the potential impacts to other people beyond just the 2 adults in the relationship.
A spokesperson for the Eritrean church says the murders and subsequent sense of loss is overwhelming for the entire community.
This has never been happening in our community, and it is just a devastation for us, for the whole community, and we're just shaken by what has happened.
Members of the Police Victim Support Unit, as well as Calgary's Immigrant Outreach Society, were at the church assisting the mother.
It's really hard for Mom. She doesn't have any family member in Canada. She raised them alone, and having this, nightmare. I don't know how she's going to bear it.
It was around 10 a.m. Thursday, just meters from the District 3 police station, where officers found the children's bodies.
The accused contacted 911 and stated that he had killed his children and gave his location. He was parked just north of 3 District on 14th Street in the 4500 block, and that's where our officers found him.
Kevin Green, CTV News, Calgary.
As we heard earlier, the U.S. president has authorized a proposed project to transport Canadian oil across the border. Judy Trin takes a look at the wider impact at the economic spillover effects.
This is a presidential permit authorizing the Bridger pipeline.
U.S. President Donald Trump approves a permit for the Bridger pipeline, a new take on a project scrapped by Joe Biden.
Slightly different than the last administration.
After years of pressure from environmental groups and indigenous communities, the first Keystone pipeline was canceled in 2021. Now, under Trump, construction of the new pipeline would take a different route, running along the Montana-Saskatchewan border before a south turn towards Wyoming. The Bridger pipeline would connect the northern link owned by Alberta's South Bow Corporation to deliver much more crude oil to the Americans.
A huge new export capacity, probably about 550,000 barrels is the nameplate capacity, and certainly echoes the Keystone XL that had so many issues.
It's potentially going to be on stream by 2029 to early 2030, so pretty quick turnaround as opposed to a brand new pipeline taking at least 8 years.
On social media, Alberta's premier said it took years of advocacy. Danielle Smith said after signing the Canada-Alberta Energy Agreement and the lifting of the federal oil and gas cap, hard work is paying off. Speaking in Calgary, the Minister of Natural Resources spoke of a bright energy future.
This government and Canadians now understand that energy is the engine of Canada's economy.
But there was a pipeline rupture in 2022 in Kansas. More reason, environmental groups say, to oppose this new project.
The developers are hoping that this project will pick up where Keystone left off, but they may regret that because this project is going to meet with the same opposition that Keystone did.
As for the Canadian partner in this, Calgary-based Southbow, it says it's still waiting for more consultation from commercial partners as well as more regulatory approvals. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
Donald Trump has rejected the latest Iranian proposal to resume face-to-face peace talks.
They've got to come up with the right deal. At this moment, I'm not satisfied with what they're doing.
Details of the proposal have not been made public, but the U.S. president insists Tehran is asking for things he can't agree to. Trump says the Iranian leadership is very disjointed and split into 2 or 3 groups. Still, he says negotiations by phone are continuing. Meanwhile, nearly 170 activists, including 2 Canadians, are now in Greece after their Gaza aid boats were intercepted by Israel in international waters yesterday. The activists arrived today on the island of Crete after an Israeli warship transferred them to Greek vessels. The group was part of a global Samud flotilla that was launched in an attempt to break Israel's blockade of Gaza by delivering humanitarian assistance. A nurse from Ontario and a student from Quebec were among those on board the 22 vessels intercepted off Greece, hundreds of kilometers from Gaza. Israel says the organizers are professional provocateurs and insists what it calls a lawful blockade will not be breached. All right, Jeff, we are looking forward to your weekend forecast.
Well, things are looking pretty positive. We've had ourselves some interesting weather, shall we say, in April. Now's begin May. Looks like things are looking pretty good. It's Derby Day tomorrow. Things are looking good. We've got ourselves warm temperatures, not as warm as today, but still warm temperatures for the most part, Saturday and Sunday, and cooling off, though, on Monday. We'll talk about that later on, but let's check in with our numbers. We're going to start off with, look at this, 24 big degrees for Saskatoon right now. That's our current temperature. 10 is where we're at in Prince Albert. So Prince Albert's always been on, this week has been sort of on the wrong side of the ridge, or the cooler side of the ridge, not necessarily wrong. 21 degrees in the Battleford's under sunny skies. So 24 is Saskatoon's high temperature. 15 is the record, or rather, yeah, the record typical temperature. The record temperature, though, 28 degrees from the year 2000. Minus 11 degrees was the record cold from 2 years after that in 2002. The sun came up at 5:37, and it's going to go down at 8:32.
Coming up on the run again, how a Toronto game developer is recreating a great escape from a decade ago.
Wake up and win with CTV, your morning Saskatchewan. Tune in weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. for your daily code word for your chance to win $20,000 powered by Affinity Credit Union.
All right, welcome back. Taking a look at some clouds in the east. There's a little gray in there, but we don't anticipate much in the way of active weather from the clouds out there. The risk is always out there when we get these warm temperatures. And today has been a warmer day compared to everything we've seen for about a week or so, or a little over a week. As you can see, we do have some pockets of active weather, or certainly some rain sliding across from Alberta into Saskatchewan. Not a surprise. Daytime heating helps to create some of this situation. But right now, it's not of any great concern. You know, if we get a little bit of rain, well, not a big deal. 24 degrees in Saskatoon, just 10 degrees in Prince Albert, and 21 in the Battlefords. And as you can see, look how windy it is in the Battlefords, 44 kilometers an hour. Still pretty breezy here in Saskatoon as well. On to our hot spot. That was Rosetown at 25 degrees today. Val-Marie, the cold spot, at -5. Currently, it is 18 degrees in Lloydminster, 23 in Swift Current, and then Moose Jaw, Regina, Yorkton, and Estevan all sitting at 20 degrees. In central Saskatchewan and parts of the northern grain belt, temperatures ranging from a somewhat chilly 9 degrees in Nipawin up to 24 in Saskatoon, but 23 right now in Rosetown, 14 in Meadow Lake, 19 in Wynyard, 16 in Hudson Bay. Up north, 9 degrees in Stony Rapids and Sandy Bay Island Falls, but then it jumps into the double digits and it gets up 13 right now in Buffalo Narrows. Down south, 22 degrees in Maple Creek and in Elbow. It's 24 in Outlook. Sliding towards the eastern side of the province, temperatures don't drop off in any significant way. 19 in Broadview, 20 in Melville, and 20 as well in Carlisle. On to our futurecast with the computer modeling indicating, yes, there's some active weather sliding through the province and making its way out of the province by the time we get into the early morning hours, and maybe a little something, clipping the extreme southwestern corner of the province. But the pressure lines are starting to sort of, they're close together. They're sort of gapping a little bit, so they will back off tomorrow afternoon for sure. 13 degrees 13 degrees for La Ronge and Buffalo Narrows, 8 in Stony Rapids, 10 in Key Lake. And then into the high teens, low 20s for west central Saskatchewan with a mix of sky conditions on Saturday. The southwestern part of the province, temperatures in and around that 20 or 21 degree mark. And then into the southeast, well, pretty much the same situation, maybe just a little cooler, but still above seasonal with temperatures hovering around 18 degrees. Estevan expecting a windy day tomorrow. And then mainly sunny skies from Melfort, Watrous, and Hudson Bay, mainly cloudy conditions in Humboldt, but temperatures in the mid-teens for these locations. On to the Battlefords, 30% chance of showers with a risk of a thunderstorm, 3 degrees overnight, 19 tomorrow, winds out of the northwest at 20, and then 19 again on Sunday. Sunday's going to be a cloudy day, but it's generally going to be the wind that you're going to notice. 7 degrees to start the work week, kind of cool, and then 11 on Tuesday, acceptable, but then above seasonal temperatures Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday under mainly cloudy skies. For Prince Albert, tonight, yeah, risk of a thunderstorm, chance of some showers, but it's a slight chance, 4 degrees, and then mainly sunny skies on Saturday. The wind's backing off in the afternoon, staying at 16, but with cloudy and windy conditions on Sunday. Then just 6 degrees on Monday, really not climbing all that much Tuesday with a high of 9, but then 12 degrees on Wednesday, and then above seasonal temperatures of 17 degrees on Thursday and Friday of next week. And Saskatoon's overnight temperature, 5 degrees. The winds increase overnight, and they back off tomorrow afternoon. 19 the high on Saturday for Saskatoon. Windy conditions with cloudy skies on Sunday. 7 to start the work week, but warming up to close to seasonal values on Wednesday. And then we've got ourselves 20 degrees on Thursday, and Friday, 19 degrees.
I'm in the greatest profession in the world. I'm so damn lucky. How do I keep it going?
A new Netflix doc will shine a light on the life and career of Canadian comedian Martin Short. The trailer, released today, features interviews with Short himself, as well as longtime comedy colleagues like Steve Martin, Eugene Levy, Catherine O'Hara, and Tom Hanks. It also touches on the challenges Short faced throughout his life, including the loss of loved ones. Marty, Life is Short, starts streaming May 12th.
We have taken 3 songs and reimagined these songs with animated sign language.
A trio of Disney songs are now more accessible than ever. A team of Disney animators have reimagined the musical sequences from 3 movies so the characters are singing in American Sign Language. They worked with the members of the, quote, Deaf West Theater to choreograph the pieces. They include songs from Frozen 2, Encanto, and Moana 2. The animations made their debut on Disney+. Grammy winner Olivia Rodrigo is going on tour. The singer-songwriter recently shared her track Drop Dead. It's the lead single of her album out in June, titled You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love. Rodrigo says she will then hit the road in September with the Unraveled tour. It's scheduled to hit several cities across North America and Europe, including 3 stops in Canada: Montreal on October 21st and 22nd, Toronto October 26th and 27th, and Vancouver December 1st and 2nd. Tickets go on sale next week.
All right, Jeff, it is the Friday edition of Pick of the Day. What did you choose?
Well, I chose 4 pictures. Ooh, breaking the rules. This one comes to us from Wendy near Lanigan. We, along with many of other farms in the area, are struggling with some water issues. Meanwhile, we'll just have to wait for our washed out road to dry up. Hey, Jeff, can you send some warm, sunny weather? And I think the answer is warm. Yes, sunny, we're not sure, but right now things are looking promising, Wendy. From Carol, the spring melt has finally started in the Lake Lenore area. Our driveway and garden were flooded for the first time in 20-plus years. The culverts took some time to break open, resulting in that backup of water. Yes, there you go. You can certainly see that breakup going on there. And Denise, we got a couple of dog pictures here. I wanted to show this one. Capone just loves the snow. Now, this was from last Saturday. And now from Bill, a little more recently, a couple of days ago, Tia getting ready for planting season. So, yes, indeed, some diggity dogs to wrap up the week of Pick of the Day. And if you'd like to send us an image, you can do so by sending it to cfqcnews@ctv.ca, or you can scan the QR code and get the information on how to do that.
Still to come on CTV News, when a zoo escape is all fun and games, how one developer is allowing the public to relive an exciting time in Toronto's history. Capybaras created a buzz throughout the city of Toronto a decade ago when they escaped from the city's zoo. They were eventually found and returned, but their legacy lives on in a new video game. CTV's Corey Baird shows us how it all plays out.
The search is on. 10 years ago, the unlikeliest of jailbreaks catapulted the capybara from obscure South American rodent to Toronto's top news.
Live over High Park, where those two young capybaras are still missing.
In the 30 days it took to capture the cappies, social media exploded with sightings and speculation citywide.
It popped out onto the street here.
It swam directly from the tree right up to where I'm standing now.
We heard that they escaped.
The bears, it's all gone.
A decade later, they've escaped again. In video game form, that is. You can call off the search parties. Cappy Castaway is the brainchild of indie developer Saffron Aurora. You play as a lost capybara trying to find your way off of a replica of Toronto Island.
I love Toronto, so any way that I can sort of represent where I'm from, I like doing that.
The Queen Street Viaduct, the DVP Rainbow Tunnel, even TTC streetcars among the game's many Toronto Easter eggs.
You can see one of our references over here. This is Nest Fred's. I'm actually going to do this one over here, which is Fran's Diner, if you're familiar with Fran's. We've got a little Timmy's cup, our coffee cup. It's a winning cup! Would you look at that? We do have a few, I would say, Toronto animals celebrity references. Conrad the raccoon makes an appearance. Something I would like to add is the IKEA monkey.
The video game industry is volatile, so success is hardly guaranteed. But there could be gold in these hills. Capybara cafes do big business in Japan, so maybe the world's just been waiting for our own ode to the rodent.
I think the capybara is a friend to all animals. It's very like loaf-shaped and it's very approachable.
Cappy Castaway will be available for download later this year. Corey Baird, CTV News, Toronto.
When we come back, another rider hangs up his cleats. And when a spring breakup is both beautiful and dangerous.
All right, time to take a look at the rural forecast for tomorrow. And yes, things are looking quite promising temperature-wise. Again, not as warm as today, but still pretty sweet. 17 degrees for Meadow Lake, 19 for Lloydminster and Kindersley, 20 in Outlook. Staying in the teens for Melfort and Hudson Bay and Wynyard. So a little cooler, Wynyard just at 14 degrees. And then we take a look at what's going on south of the Yellowhead down towards the Trans-Canada. And lots of places in the high teens, some places getting into the low 20s. That includes Leader and Rosetown. Let's see what's going on in Edam, and Edam looks like it's going to be pretty nice. 18 degrees, mainly sunny skies, winds out of the northwest at 20, and so a relatively pleasant day, a beautiful Saturday, and keep in mind, Edam is one of those places where internet plans of up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel.
Saskatchewan residents can now enter the province's big game draw. The draw allows hunters to enter for a chance at the opportunity to hunt mule deer, elk, moose and pronghorn across the province. Applications are open until May 28th through the province's hunting, angling and trapping license system, also known as HAL. Successful applicants will be able to buy licenses starting August 1st. Another homegrown Saskatchewan Rough Rider is calling it a career.
To bring a lot of pressure, Harris down the field.
Receiver Mitch Picton has decided to go out a champion, retiring from the game this morning after 9 years with the CFL team he grew up watching. He was a 5th-round pick for the Riders in the 2017 CFL draft after a successful 5 years with the U of R Rams, where he set the school record for 24 career touchdown catches. Picton says it was a dream to play for the Riders as he started playing touch football at the old Taylor Field.
It was dream come true, play for this team, play for this province, represent this team and this province in the best way that I could. It's something I took pride in every day. Not a day went by that I wasn't thankful to come to work here.
Since he has been back from injury.
I truly do love the game of football. These last 8 years and before that with the Rams, it's been, it truly has been a dream come true, and something that I'll never forget.
Picton also having a large presence in the community with the Riders Foundation. A Canadian energy company has announced a large expansion in the U.S. Morella Fernandez brings us those details.
TC Energy will expand a pipeline system at a cost of $1.5 billion U.S. The gas system runs from New York State to the Midwest and Southeast. The Canadian company just reported earnings with a revenue for the quarter at about $3.9 billion. The system expansion should be up and running by 2030. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 73.58. West Texas Intermediate is down to 101.94. Western Canadian Select also down to 81.92. And the TSX lost 73 points today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
Turning to local gas prices now, the average price in Saskatoon is $1.88.9 a litre. The lowest price in town is $1.77.9. On Saskatchewan markets, Cameco dropped $3.32 today, and Nutrien finished the day at $102.24. Coming up, Norway coins a piece of its history. Then a spring site in Saskatchewan.
Select Hair Service is brought to you by Sage, the beauty bar.
Stay with us for another great night of television starting tonight at 7 with Celebrity Jeopardy. Well, Norway has found about 3,000 tiny pieces of its history. Archaeologists have found almost 3,000 silver coins in a field in eastern Norway. This discovery is believed to be the biggest coin find from the Viking Age. Some of the coins date back more than 1,000 years. This collection offers some clues into how the ancient economy worked. The dig is still happening in search of other artifacts. But 3,000.
That is cool.
That is a lot.
All righty.
That is neat. All right, well, with the longer days and more sunshine, Saskatchewan rivers are starting to open up again. Lyndon McFarland near Wapiti Ski Resort captured this video of the Saskatchewan River ice giving way to the flowing water beneath it. It's a reminder of the beauty of Mother Nature, but also the dangers melting ice and fast-moving water can pose. So nice to look at a distance.
Absolutely, yes. She made sure that she's far away from the shoreline to get these photographs, because of these images, I should say, because if anybody wants to do something similar, yeah, the best plan is to stay far away from the shoreline.
Zoom in.
Zoom in, indeed. Yeah, but no, pretty impressive to watch.
Sign of the season.
It really is. It really is. Tomorrow, another melty day, so we'll see even more of this breakup on many Saskatchewan rivers and bodies of water. We've got ourselves 10 degrees tomorrow at 9 a.m. By noon, 14 degrees. Mid-afternoon, 19 degrees. And by 5 o'clock tomorrow, temperatures will have dropped back a little bit, but still pretty darn nice, sunny and 17 degrees.
All right, looking forward to it. The BMO Walk So Kids Can Talk is on Sunday.
It is.
It's going to be a little breezy.
It'll be a little breezy. It'll be so. Hold on to your hats. You'll be there and I'll be there. And so just we won't bring kites.
No, we won't. But we will leave you with some pretty beautiful images of our river taken by Dale Cooper, one of our talented photographers here at CTV. Have a safe and happy weekend. Thanks for watching.
Take care.